All right, welcome. So today I'm talking with Lizzy Russinko, the founder of This Unscripted Life, and you can see already right behind her all of her beautiful work. I first got introduced to Lizzy, I think we were both in a hand-in-hand parenting training. You did
Mm,
that, right?
mhm,
You were Inspired Family.
mhm.
And what I
Yes.
know about you is you have two really little babies who I could see behind you, a baby and a toddler. And
Yeah.
somehow during this time, since you've become a mom, you have run multiple businesses, you've run conferences, retreats, and now I see you primarily as this amazing artist using your hand lettering to create inspiring quotes that people can use in their life, both in handmade printed materials and also digitally.
Mhm.
So you can find all of Lizzy's stuff at thisunscriptedlife.com. And today we're going to talk about how she came to this place of being an artist and a mother. So thank you, Lizzy, for being here.
Oh, I'm very grateful.
Awesome. All right. So I start with, since this is a Be What You're About interview series, is what is this all about? What has it drives your work, given that it's not easy
Mhm.
to pursue creative or other passions while having little kids. So what's the core driver of your work?
Sure. Um, in some ways, it's compulsory,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I'm compelled. I really
Yeah.
don't have a choice,
Yeah.
and so I have to plan events. I have to write. I have to draw. I have to share messages with people that I care about. I have to reach out, connect with other women. It's just it's what I have to do in
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm.
And so after leaving my career in student affairs and higher ed administration, um, I had to keep doing it,
Yeah.
just in new and different ways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and so,
And
yeah,
how
it's
did the I know that you we're doing retreats and conferences and working more on with Inspired Family, but that
sure.
has evolved into more of an artistic, creative bent. How did that evolution come about?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, after I became a mom, my husband was traveling a few days a week. I lost my dad
Mm-hmm.
when my daughter was 3 months old, and I was just sort of, I had left my job, and I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted to create outside of that career, and with my family and with my husband, and I needed more resources,
Mm-hmm.
and so I kind of created what I needed. I
Mm-hmm.
needed Inspired Family. I
Mm-hmm.
needed to connect with other parents. I needed to have conversations about breastfeeding and birth, and
Yeah.
creative play, and rye parenting, and I
Mm-hmm.
needed it.
Mm-hmm.
And so my career, I did a lot of event planning. I did
Okay.
like large scale conferences, up to maybe 800,000 people. And so I was familiar with the planning of it, like the nitty gritties of events, as well as sort of the large scale concepts.
Yeah.
Um, and and then some new fun pieces like a vendor hall, and
Uh-huh.
filling it with 50 vendor tables and making connections with local businesses. And we had over 40 different educational sessions, connecting with all of those
Wow.
women and presenters, uh, and then making the programs
Uh-huh.
and the website. Just all of it was what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
created what I needed.
Okay.
That said, it was awesome, but my partner needed to leave the work,
Uh-huh.
and a woman that I was working
I
with,
see.
and it really gave me a chance to say, like, okay, wait, what do I really, really want from this? Do I really want to be doing these massive things? So I looked at my vision board that I had done,
Mm.
and I saw one side was this unscripted life, and then the other piece was Inspired Family, conversations that matter,
Mm.
intimacy, self care, authenticity, introspection. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get this in these large scale events. I need to, really what I want to be doing is working with smaller groups of people. And so I sort of looked at some of my contacts in Inspired Family, and I have a wonderful relationship with Sheila Pye, who you probably are familiar with. Her work is amazing. And so I reached out to her, and I was like, I think we need to do some smaller scale stuff, where we can really get deep with people and have these beautiful conversations and ugly conversations and messy conversations, support each other in this craziness that is being a woman, that's being a mom, and that's also trying to like live a purposeful life that feels awesome. So that's how kind of that evolved.
Okay. And now you're an artist.
So I guess I've always been an artist, right? But never one that shared anything. And so about a year ago, let's just say I have stacks of over 100 journals of artwork and writing. And about a year ago, I had a friend who was sick and almost died. And she's really inspired me. Like, it's now or never. Like, what is the point here? And so I was like, I'm just going to jump. And so I started my website, and I shared a piece, and somebody said, can I buy that?
Awesome.
I was like, I don't know. Let me find out how I make this, printable. And so that's how that started.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and then I basically looked at like, how does all of this flow? Right. So, how do these events that I need to plan flow with the work that I'm doing? And so it's sort of three pieces now. It's the events, and then it's the artwork, which reflects the mission, vision, feelings, and the conversations, and then it's the blog and my Instagram, which is kind of like my daily living it.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's how it all happens.
That's awesome. Great. Well, I'm so glad you're doing it, because it is inspired and it's beautiful. I'm glad that I get to see it while I talk to you. So you talked about just taking the jump, and so many of the women who I talk about or talk with are feeling not quite ready, or who am I to think I should put myself out there publicly and charge for what I create or the services that I provide. So what has been your process of contending with those things? Because one thing I think it's important to hear is the people who are putting their work out there still have all of those self-doubts and fears. It's not that they go away, it's that you work with them differently. So can you tell us a little bit about the stuff that you have to contend with and how you do that?
Yeah, sure. It's really simple. Every day I contend with, I'm not good enough. I'm not valid. Every day.
Yeah.
Every single day. In most of what I do.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. I'm not valid. No, yes, you are. No, yes, you are. That's it. It's like super simple. That, I mean, the message that you tell yourself is that super simple. And then it's just like, it's this consistency of like, but I've spent most of my life empowering people, right? To have a voice. My background, my master's is in women's and gender studies, and most of my work was in anti-violence movements globally, right? So how can I assert that everyone has the right to a voice and a story, and then deny myself that experience as well?
Awesome.
So I try to remind myself that, but it's tough because I don't. All right. So another piece too is that I don't fit in really, and I've never fit in kind of anywhere. And so then I was like, well, maybe the work I'm doing is for the misfits. Because that's what I am, and maybe that's who I need to connect with.
Yeah. Awesome. I can relate to that.
Yeah. So I've just decided it's okay that I'm a misfit, but there's a lot of us.
Yeah. Right. We fit in our square pegginess.
Yeah. Absolutely. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So my last question is, you're doing this work. It's beautiful. You really are having an impact. I see people just delighting in what you're giving them and giving them the opportunity to experience and then be inspired themselves to take that energy into their own lives. But I also know you've got a baby sleeping right now at home who's home with you full time. You've got a toddler who's mostly home with you. And I think whatever balance means has to be defined for each one of us. So, how do you discern what's workable in terms of how much you give to your work versus your family and how you're making it work?
Yeah, that's that's great. That's been an up and down piece for us. My husband and I have lots of conversations about it. And we're very open about sort of the ebb and flow of, because there's been times where I get way too in it. And it's part of actually the reason why I sort of had to step away from Inspired Family and the big, large scale things, because I knew that I couldn't balance the type of family life that I want to have with that work.
Uh-huh.
And so, I have an 18-month-old who's napping right now.
Yeah.
And then I have a 3-year-old who is at preschool 2 days a week for the morning. And so today I got her to stay the extended period.
Awesome. Thank you.
So that I could do this with you.
Thank you.
But oh man, it's really, part of it is tying those experiences into my work, right? So making the fact that sometimes, I need to we're sitting and playing, and that's my work.
Yeah.
And sharing that,
Yeah.
At This Unscripted Life, sharing that, it's messy and it sort of is all threaded together. I do my work when they sleep.
Yeah.
My 3-year-old has decided recently she doesn't like sleeping, so we've started meditation instead. So she listens to a meditation, and that's her quiet time. In the evenings, but I like to spend time with my husband too, so setting boundaries and limits for myself, knowing that right now I left my career because I want to be home with my children.
Yeah.
And so what does that mean for me? That means reading stories and spending time and doing art, and but it also has to mean every day that I need some alone time. So it's figuring out how to make sure I fit that in. I get dressed I don't know about this stuff, but I get dressed every day. I do my hair every day. I put on a little mascara every day, because that keeps me in my own flow.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But your self is there. Your self has to show up every day and be taken care of a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I'm not, I can see it, how it reflects. But I'm also really gentle with myself. So like when my second was born, I hardly left the house for like 4 months.
Yeah, awesome.
I just kind of like sat around on my porch, and I nursed him, and my toddler played, and I didn't stress myself out about going anywhere, or doing play dates and doing this and doing that. Just being here, because this is the only time we get to be here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, today, I get to talk to you.
Yeah.
This is my moment to talk to you and connect with you. And if I'm a million other places, and so I try to think about that in everything I do.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And it's powerful. Yeah. It's about staking claim to your life. Yeah. Which I think is not necessarily the default for many of us women, and that and that motherhood can push us so far to other people having claim on it, that the gift of that is maybe it can raise the stakes enough that you've got to do it for yourself.
Yep, totally.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, I didn't prepare this question for you, but if you had any advice for a woman watching who had something creative, something beautiful that she wanted to make and contribute to the world, but it was like, not me, I'm not ready, I can't figure it out, what advice or encouragement would you have for her?
Just jump in and figure it out as you go. Okay. Because that's all. I mean, I'm not a business person. Yeah. I have no training in art or design. I don't know how to use Photoshop. I made a friend who helps me. I don't, everything for me is ink and paper, and I don't know so much. Yeah. But but you just kind of you have to figure it out. You
Cool.
know, you just have to jump in and figure it out. Um, and it doesn't even have to be beautiful.
Yeah.
It just has to be you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sick of like pink flamingos and gold pineapples
Right.
and like it doesn't have to be beautiful. It
Yeah.
just has to be you.
Right. And I would argue that that is beautiful. I would
Yeah,
redefine
right,
what is beautiful.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
totally,
It's not
totally.
pretty, but it's
Yeah,
beauty.
but
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just yeah. Come join me and you on
Yeah.
all the things that we
Yeah.
do because I can't help but be inspired to be me
Yeah.
when I see the work you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
I'm like, you got to get this. You got to
Great.
do it. So
Great. Wonderful. Well, thank
stick
you. And
together.
I want everybody who's listening to know they can get a free digital print of one of Lizzy's beautiful pieces of art that's behind her if they go to thisunscriptedlife.com. And yeah, the both of us, we hang out on Facebook and have awesome conversations, so you could come join us there too.
Yes, totally.
All right. Well, Lizzy, thank you so much. I know that you had to piece together a bunch of things to make this work, which just demonstrates that, we're entitled to our own space and our own flow and our own creative journey, and that our children are the better for it. So thank you for taking the time.
Thank you. I'm so grateful.
All right. Bye.